And welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm reviewing Pumas UNAM 2, Seattle Sounders 2 in the first leg of the 2022 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League Final. Pumas have a dominating matchup, have a dominating game, and still laid on draw at home at Estadio Olimpico Universitario. Pumas look like the better team, but they just can't get it done. Keep the lead into Seattle. In the 38th minute, Juan Dineno gets fouled in the box by Yamar and Arriaga. They give a penalty. First one is saved by Stefan Fry, but as it's being saved, he's off his line. They check it on VAR. They give the penalty a retake, and Juan Dineno calmly slots it far post in the 38th minute. Gets the goal there to make it 1-0. And that's the way we go into halftime. Then in the 49th minute, scores again. What a ball in for Pumas. What a cross. And Juan Dineno heads it in. A beautiful header gets up there. Puts it into the near post to make it 2-0 in the 49th minute. And Pumas look like they're cruising. Then in the 77th minute, there's a penalty for handball in the box. Sebastian Saucedo is called for it. Ball is crossed into his hand. It goes under his shoulder, under his elbow. He's sliding to tackle the ball away. And they call it a penalty, which sad part is America versus Monterrey final. That's not a penalty against Monterrey, but it is a penalty against Pumas. Nico Ladero goes to take it, puts it to the near post. Talavera almost gets there, though, in the 77th minute, but it's 2-1. But Pumas still have the lead. Then in the 90+9 minute in stoppage time, Christian Roldan brings the ball up. He's fouled, and he dives heavily. But in the end, they go to VAR. They check it. No ball, no tackle, no ball on the tackle. All contact. His dive was worth it, and Nico Ladero gets a step up for another penalty for Seattle. And this time, Talavera's way off, way more than he was the first one. Goes the opposite way. Ladero smashes it in, 2-2, and that's the way it would end. 3 penalties in this game, 1 for both brace goal scorers. Actually, both for Ladero, but each brace goal scorer at least gets 1. 1 goal scorer for each team getting a brace. It's a 2-2 final. That's how we go into Seattle. Stats are as follows: 9 shots to 12, 4 shots on goal to 9, 53% possession to 47% possession, 372 passes to 317 passes, 81% pass accuracy to 92, 15 fouls to 10, 0 offside to 1, 2 yellow cards to 2, 0 red cards to 0, 4 corners to 7. But I still think Pumas were the better team. I still think Pumas did better on the night. They played their game. They looked great. They deserved to win. The draw is a heartbreaking situation for Pumas because, yes, the 2 penalties that were given against them were sort of questionable. Definitely the first one, I don't think that was a penalty. The second one, it falls more towards penalty, but you really can't say. I don't think that's a penalty in the non-VAR era. But, of course, we're in the VAR era, and they give the penalty. And both are penalties. And I really didn't see it for the first one. The second one is heartbreaking. And Pumas played well. Yeah, they gave away 2 bad penalties, but they were both on VAR. They both were given by a referee rechecking them. It honestly definitely wasn't a deserved draw for Seattle. Seattle were flustered for most of the match. Pumas did let their guard down in stoppage time, I do have to say. So they kind of, I wouldn't say deserved giving up that penalty, but they definitely put their guard down and kind of calmed down and thought they had it done and had the win going to Seattle. They got a little bit too comfortable. I will say that in the last 10 minutes plus stoppage time. They got a little bit too comfortable. And I think that's what hurt them. They got a little bit too comfortable. They got a little bit too cocky. And they thought they had it. And they thought they had the draw or had the win going to Seattle. And all they would have had to do was what they did to Cruz Azul with their best center back. And they didn't. And they paid for calming down and not really playing with their whole heart and playing with their whole situation like they have been this whole run. It was a different Pumas here in those last 15 minutes. They were getting a little bit too confident and a little bit too comfortable, and they paid for it, frankly. They paid for the situation. They paid for being too comfortable, and that's why they drew. But in the end, they were still the better team in the whole game. They played better defensively. They played better offensively. They flustered the Sounders. The Sounders did not score an open play goal, which I expected them to do, frankly, in this match. I thought the Sounders would be better off open play. I thought Rui Diaz would be lethal. I thought Roldan would be better. I thought Ladero, besides the 2 penalties, I mean, he did good, but I thought he would do better. Jordan Morris, I thought he would be great again. No. Thing about Seattle is they were flustered. They had no answer to Pumas. The only answer they had were 2 penalties that were borderline at best, saying the second one, and a BS VAR call on the first one. That was their only answer. They got gifted a draw. Like, honestly. And I think that's the thing, Pumas fans, if there's anything to be happy about, it's the performance that they had and the fact that Seattle got gifted a draw. They didn't earn it. They got gifted it. Seattle did not look like Seattle in this matchup. They looked flustered. They looked like they didn't care. They didn't really put all their energy into it. And it just didn't look like it was what it was supposed to be for them. They didn't do what they had said, saying the CCL final means everything to us. We're going to put everything out for it. They didn't. They didn't. They didn't. They coasted in this game. And sadly enough, they got rewarded for it. And they have a draw going into Seattle. That's the sad part. And you'd think that maybe they shouldn't be rewarded for that. Pumas were the better team. They were the stronger team. They wanted it more. And they still couldn't get that win. Because Seattle was gifted a draw. Because Seattle did not earn that draw. Now you could say Pumas made 2 brainless mistakes. Okay, I don't think so. The first handball was not a handball. He was sliding to tackle the ball away, and it goes under his arm and touches his underarm and side. 1, that's not a penalty, and 2, if it wasn't called like that in the 2021 final right at the end of the game, how is that a penalty? Consistency, please. Consistency. And then you have the second penalty, which is borderline at best. I get there's contact, and I get Roldan went down, and defender didn't catch any ball. Okay, fine. I still don't think that's a penalty. I think he pulled an iron robin, to be honest. He did. He flopped like a fish and got the referee's attention. And at least got the referee's attention, if not got the VAR referee's attention. And if the VAR referee, regular referee, got the attention, then the VAR referee checked it. Roldan maybe earned that penalty. Maybe he earned that penalty. I don't think the handball was a penalty, though. And I still really don't stand with that second penalty being a penalty either. I think that's really harsh. I think it's really harsh. And I don't think so. I think Pumas deserved to win this match. They were the better team. Way better. And they deserved better. And they kind of got hosed in the first leg. And they have to go to Seattle drawing, tied, and Dineno has to have a masterclass to get this done because Seattle, the last 2 home games they've had, they won 3-1 over their opponents. And they also beat Motagua 5-0 in Seattle. So Seattle has actually been better at home than on the road. They've had struggles on the road. At home, they're a different beast. At least that's what it's been so far. So you look at that situation, you're like, okay, so Pumas have to play the perfect game in the second leg and probably at least get 2 goals if they want to at least go to extra time. And I would probably agree with that. I would agree with that. Pumas are in a bad position now. Not because it's their fault, but because the referee sort of handed Seattle the draw. And Pumas have to find a way to get it done. And I hope, and I think they do. I think Dineno is probably angrier than a hornet at this point, and it probably still will be. And he'd probably rather play the second leg than play the last game of Liga MX. And he's probably going to pop out and score a hat trick. At least that's what Pumas fans probably would want if they want to win this tie. And probably need, frankly, at least a brace. Yes, Dineno's going to win the Golden Boot, Goleador, Concacaf Champions League. Liga de Campeones de Concacaf. But is that enough? He's got to score more. 9 goals is enough to win the Golden Boot. He's got to score at least 2 more to win the trophy. And I think he'd rather have the CCL trophy than a Golden Boot. Be nice to have both, but I think he'd rather have the CONCACAF trophy more than the Golden Boot. So it's basically, is Dineno pissed off, which he looked like he was. I think Pumas fans may be fine, and Pumas, the team, may be fine. But we'll see next week. We'll see in 24 hours who the CONCACAF, or not in 24 hours, but in a full-on week. A full-on week, and then on Wednesday, 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24. 7 days worth of time right now. In 7 days, at this time, we're going to see who the champion is and what ends up happening. We will know at this time, a little bit earlier, but pretty much at this time in 7 days. We'll know. And I hope we have a good final, and I hope it goes the right way, but maybe I was right about it being very close and very tight. I thought I may have been wrong there, but as the first half was going and most of the second half, but turns out maybe that was a good call. So, with that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that big red bell notification. Once you subscribed, send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in a playlist. Share it with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you on Saturday for Toronto FC versus FC Cincinnati. I don't know if it's their home game or their away game in the home and home. I forgot. But they're playing them in 2 straight games. One's home, one's away, and one's on CCL second leg day, and we'll have a double feature then. But with that being said, I'll see you on Saturday afternoon. I'm out. Peace.